1971 was packed with iconic rock, soul, and psychedelic sounds. But some of its catchiest hits came from artists who only had one shot in the spotlight. These are 10 forgotten one-hit wonders that made their mark and deserve another listen. Number 10, Bang a Gong, Get It On by T-Rex. With its hypnotic groove and swaggering delivery, this track helped kick off the glam rock movement in the US, even if T-Rex's stateside fame never reached the same heights again. Mark Bolan's voice floats above the slinky rhythm, backed by hand claps, saxophone, and that unmistakable fuzzy guitar riff. Producer Tony Visconti kept things simple but punchy, letting the band's cool confidence shine through every bar. It was recorded at Trident Studios in London, where Visconti worked closely with Bolan to layer the song's dreamy, sensual atmosphere. Interestingly, Elton John mimed the piano part on a Top of the Pops performance, but the studio version actually featured Rick Wakeman, who would go on to join Yes. Number 9, Precious and Few by Climax. Soft and slow, this track didn't need volume to make an impact. It floats on tender vocals and gentle orchestration, capturing that feeling of holding on to someone just a little tighter. There's nothing complicated here. No big production, no flashy solos, just a clean melody and a message that connected. It hit number 1 early in '72, but the momentum started in '71 as radio stations caught on. Climax recorded it at Original Sound Studios in Hollywood, with producer Larry Cox pushing for a restrained, emotionally centered mix. Lead singer Sonny Gerasi, formerly of The Outsiders, brought just the right amount of vulnerability to make the lyrics land. For a band with only one hit, this track left a timeless impression. Number 8, Chirpy, Chirpy, Cheep, Cheep by Mac and Katie Kissoon. This bubblegum pop track was originally recorded by a different artist, but it was Mac and Katie Kissoon's version that took off in the US. The vocals bounce with a cheerful melody, but there's a strange contrast in the lyrics. A child wondering where their parents went. It's catchy to the point of absurdity, with a chorus that digs in whether you want it to or not. And once it was on the radio, there was no escaping it. The duo recorded this track after signing with John McLeod, a songwriter and producer who had worked with many British pop acts in the '60s. Their voices brought warmth and soul to a song that could have easily veered into novelty territory. And that balance is likely what made it stick, even decades later. Number 7, Resurrection Shuffle by Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke. Bluesy, brassy, and built to shake the walls, this track came out swinging. It fused rock and R&B with a bar band energy that felt raw and immediate. The horn section does the heavy lifting, backed by gritty organ stabs and a pounding rhythm section. It's the kind of track you could picture tearing up a smoky club, even if the band itself never quite broke into the mainstream. This track was recorded at Trident Studios, the same London space where Elton John and David Bowie were cutting early hits. Legend has it, the title came together last minute, just before pressing. And the term Resurrection Shuffle was coined on the spot by the band to match the song's gospel-tinged groove and loose swagger. Number 6, I Hear You Knocking by Dave Edmunds. Dave Edmunds took an old Smiley Lewis blues tune and gave it new life, layering it with crunchy guitars and a raw, echo-heavy vocal. The production feels almost out of time, like something beamed in from the early days of rock, but sharper. It's tight, fast, and delivered with a garage band urgency that cuts through. Edmunds recorded this one at Rockfield Studios in Wales, working mostly solo and playing many of the instruments himself. The slapback echo on his vocal was a deliberate nod to Sun Records era Elvis, and it gave the song a retro feel that stood out in the early 70s. We're halfway through, and the sounds of 1971 are already bringing back some deep cuts. Which of these songs did you grow up with? Or maybe discover years later on a dusty record or random playlist? Got a favorite one hit, wonder we didn't include? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear the songs that stuck with you. Number 5, Timothy by the Buoys. At first listen, it sounds like just another catchy folk rock tune. Bright melody, smooth harmonies, and a chorus that lingers. Timothy, Timothy, but then you realize what the lyrics are actually about. The track tells the story of a mine collapse and implies a grim fate for one of the trapped men, a twist that sparked controversy in radio bans across the country. Despite, or maybe because of, that backlash, it kept climbing the charts. It was written by Rupert Holmes, yes, the same man who later wrote Escape, the Pina Colada song, and was intended as a test to see if a song with dark subject matter could sneak onto mainstream radio. The gamble worked, and the band recorded the song at Scepter Studios in New York, where its clean production belied the morbid tale underneath. Number 4, Love Means You Never Have to Say You're Sorry by Sounds of Sunshine. This track feels like a snapshot from a simpler time, all sunshine harmonies and soft AM radio warmth. It rode the wave of sentimental pop, leaning into gentle vocals and a message that aimed straight for the heart. The title echoed a famous line from the hit film Love Story, which helped give it cultural traction. Musically, it's all clean guitar strums, slow pacing, and a vocal delivery that's more heartfelt than flashy. The group was signed to Ranwood Records, a label better known for easy listening than rock or pop hits. This track ended up being one of the few crossover singles from the label and was recorded in a modest LA studio with minimal overdubs, aiming for sincerity over slickness. Number 3, Bittersweet and Quietly Unforgettable. This one is pure early 70s, leaned into lush harmonies and gentle instrumentation, creating a sound that felt like watching clouds roll in on a gray afternoon. Drifts along with just enough bounce to keep it from sinking, while the lyrics tap into that universal sense of loss. When everything feels just a little heavier than it was recorded at Abbey Road Studios with engineer Peter Vince, who added subtle string flourishes to give it. Though the Fortunes had a few hits in the 60s, this was their last brush with US success, and it lingers like a slow dance you didn't. Number 2, Do You Know What I Mean by Lee Michaels. 40 days, I don't know Driven by organ grooves and a raspy vocal that cuts right through, this track feels like a raw, confessional set to music.
I just saw her yesterday. I just saw her.
It was born out of frustration, heartbreak laid bare without filter or polish. Lee Michaels keeps the arrangement tight, just keys, drums, and his voice doing most of the work.
She's a dandy, yes indeed.
That minimal setup gives the song a directness that still hits hard decades later. The track was recorded at A&M Studios in Hollywood, with Michaels handling most of the instrumentation alongside drummer Barry "Frosty" Smith. What really set it apart at the time was the absence of guitar, a bold choice that made its Hammond organ sound all the more distinct.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Number 1, Toast and Marmalade for Tea by Tin Tin.
Toast and marmalade for tea.
This track feels like a dream you almost forgot. Hazy, sweet, and strangely catchy.
Lovely than the day when the sun is in.
Built around a wobbly electric piano riff and soft-spoken vocals, it was anything but typical for the charts in '71. Produced by Maurice Gibb of the Bee Gees, the song leans into a whimsical charm, sounding like something plucked from a sun-drenched afternoon.
Toast and marmalade for tea.
There's not much structure, no big chorus, no soaring hook, but that's part of what makes it stick. The piano sound that defines the track was actually a happy accident. Engineer Roger Savage bumped the mic stand during recording, causing a slight warble in the tape, but Gibb liked the effect and kept it. That off-kilter tone became its signature, helping the song stand out in a crowded musical landscape.